Hey guys, what's up? Killjoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have almost 9 seasons of pure crap. Today we're going to be talking about if we are all still actually watching American Horror Story, who is really watching this season that is really the series that really just isn't that fantastic overall. I'm gonna need you guys to like this video and subscribe. Even if you do like American Horror Story, I want you to plead your case in the comments section as well. Now let's get to the video. Now listen, there's a lot of people that do love this show, and it did start off fantastic. The first 3 seasons are probably some of the best horror anthology show to come out in the past couple in the new millennium. How about that? That's a pretty good compliment to give this show, I would think. But overall, past that, season 4 had some great moments. The Twisty the Clown guy was absolutely freaky as hell. Loved that character. That season just seemed to fall flat a little bit for me. And same with seasons 5 through 7. They just got too sexual for me. There was just too much sexually explicit content that I just was not a big fan of personally. I never liked seeing that in horror movies, really. I hate when you get a horror movie that either does one of 2 things, and this is a trope that I feel like doesn't really work and happens a lot for some reason in horror movies. The first thing that you see a lot of sexually in horror movies is you'll just see a bunch of girls for no reason running around with their boobs out. Like, I don't think that would really happen, and it just takes away from the realism of the whole movie concept as a whole. Just any movie that just blatantly has girls taking their tops off for really no reason. And it's just unnecessary in my opinion, and I don't know, I want to see more horror aspects. That's not something that adds to the creepiness of the environment. It just takes away, in my opinion. Also, a thing that American Horror Story tends to commit a lot of the time is trying to make things sexual creepy, and that just doesn't work. It's like my feeling when I see that is I shouldn't be watching this. I definitely should not be watching this. They started to do this a lot in season 4 and season 5. That's basically all it is creepy, weird sex stuff, and that's just not scary to me. It's just uncomfortable to watch. And I guess if that's your bag, if that's the thing you're into, alright, you know, American Horror Story is the place to go for that, but it's just not my cup of tea personally. Especially when that cup of tea is probably filled with blood and cum. Then we get into season 6 and season 7, which both commit some gigantic crimes in horror anything that you just should not do. Season 6 does found footage and commits literally every bad thing that found footage movies should not do. Blatantly tells you that none of this is real, first of all. That's the one big thing that you should never do when making a found footage movie, series, whatever. It basically just tells you, oh yeah, none of this is real, this is all just a reenactment. That's like the first 5 episodes of season 6. It's unwatchable. There's nothing scary about it because they just blatantly tell you, oh, this is just a reenactment. It's nothing to it. End of season 6 gets a little better, but overall it's my absolute least favorite season, and it was really hard to get through. I stopped after the first I watched 7 episodes and then I just gave up on it. Season 7 then decides to politically split its audience in half. No matter what side that you support nowadays, if you favor one side or the other, you're gonna lose 50% of your audience, no matter what. So when they decided to go the route of hating on Donald Trump, that's when I think they lost a lot of their audience. Luckily for season 8, they did bring back a lot of their audience because it did get really good again. Season 8 is actually a really enjoyable season overall. It brings back characters from season 1 and season 3, which is really cool if you were a fan of those seasons like myself. And overall, it's probably one of the better seasons altogether. Not better than seasons 1 through 3, but it was enjoyable. It was really good. Great cast for these seasons as well. I liked the whole idea of being in a bunker during the nuclear fallout. That's awesome to me. It was a really, really good concept altogether, with some few plot points that I just wasn't too big a fan of, but it was a solid season. Now with season 9 has gotten some really good reviews. It was advertised really well, as with all these seasons, which is one of the reasons I think it still sticks around, because American Horror Story has taken some really drastic choices, and what I mean by that is it does a lot of things that are very experimental for the horror genre. 90% of the characters, this isn't a real statistic, are gay in some kind of way, or not, like not white, like some other kind of race, which is a good thing. We should have more characters like that in shows and in horror movie like that altogether. The show has no lack of diversity at all. It definitely does bring more people into the spotlight, different groups of people, which is awesome. I love when a show does that. That's one of the plus sides of this show. The one of the negative, unfortunately, is that it isn't always scary. I think it focuses too much on the social aspect of it than the actual, like, this is supposed to be American Horror Story, not American proving a point that we can put all kinds of people in our show story. And that's fine. If you want to do that, that's awesome too. But it's just, you're losing the horror aspect of it, focusing too much on that. So it needs to be 50-50 here, people. And although a lot of the stuff in this show does come off as really creepy, really terrifying, there is a lot of stuff that just doesn't hit that well with me. And it's unfortunate because this show could be so great. This jukebox of horror, every season something new, and it's all connected in the same universe. It sounds like something I would love personally. I love when series do that, but it's very lackluster at times. A lot of the characters are just not very fun to watch. It gets too drama-y for me at some points. And and honestly, there's just so much sex in these shows. It's just like, and it's not just regular sex. It's like creepy. There's a scene in season 4, my biggest example of this, where they're like filming some kind of messed up porno, and the guy sits down on a toilet seat that has a bunch of nails on it. Like, it's just like, what? I don't want to see that. Season 5 it also has, like, literally every scare in season 5 has some kind of sexual orientation behind it. Also, I love Kathy Bates in Misery, but, like, besides that, I'm just not a big fan of any of her characters in this show. I have never once been like, yeah, great performance from Kathy Bates in American Horror Story. I'm sorry, I don't like any of her characters. It's like the same thing every time. It's just sullen, I'm very creepy because I talk like this and I'm an old woman. It's just like, what? And her hair is, man, that hairdo, man, in some of the seasons, man, it's something. It's really something. But I do got to give props to Sarah Paulson, is absolutely incredible in this show. Evan Peters, Emma Roberts, Jessica Lange, they're all fantastic actors and actresses, and it's just a shame that they couldn't produce a better product. And it's not their fault, don't get me wrong. It's the writing room. The writing room needs to really get their crap together. Overall, though, are we still watching American Horror Story? Yeah, I say so. I think that there has been some very low points in this series and then some very high points. First 3 seasons are fantastic. And then it kind of dips for a bit, but then season 8 and now season 9 have been very fantastic so far, and I'm very excited to see where season 9 goes. If you're not watching it, if you gave up on it like how I did, try out season 9. You might not like season 8 too much, but season 9 has been very promising so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Thank you so much for watching my video on American Horror Story. Please like this video and subscribe if you're digging all that American Horror Story content. Also, don't forget to go follow me on Twitter at KilljoyJake1 and check it out for any updates on my videos. I'll be posting on there as frequently as possible. And, of course, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.